All right, it looks like we are live here, our weekly Tuesday training. Glad to have you guys watching, tuning in from YouTube or Facebook. Just drop a comment, let us know where you're watching. I'll be able to see the comments show up right here. Today, I'm just going to be looking at kind of reviewing our agency's checklist that we use for all of our clients. So we have this master checklist that we use when we've built a funnel. We've designed it, we built it in ClickFunnels or Kajabi or whatever. And when we're done, we want to basically run through this top-down checklist to make sure that we have everything we need, that it's ready to go. So thought it'd be fun just to kind of share this. And if you guys have any questions, drop it in the comments as I'm going, and we will go from there. So we got a couple people joining us already. Let's go ahead and share my screen here. All right, so this checklist is available for download. If you look in the description, I dropped that description a little bit earlier. So if you want to get that, you can make use of that, and it will send it to you. So I'll just kind of run through what we have. Let me zoom in just a little bit here so we can see what's going on. So I'm going to kind of run through each item and then kind of show you where, either in ClickFunnels or where to go to actually set these things up. So we have something, ClickFunnels, this could be wherever your funnel builder is. It could be lead form, lead pages, Kajabi, whatever tool you're using, it doesn't really matter. It's kind of all the same, regardless of the software that you're using. Then there's some general tracking and analytics things we like to set up to make sure. So before we launch any funnel, we have these things set up. Automated emails, just making sure that all this is working. And then if you're running, if this is for a challenge, just making sure all the details of getting the Facebook group set up are also, this is kind of an optional one down here. Now, the reason why I'm actually sharing this with you guys now is because I decided to build a funnel for ourselves, for our team, for something that we're working on, ran ads to it for about a week, maybe spent about $100, got like 180, 200 people to click onto the page. So the ads were working. I was hitting the right audience. They're getting to the page, and just no one was signing up. So I was getting no opt-ins. This is for like a free product. And I was just, we try to redesign the page a little bit, tweak it. Only Sunday, I decided to let me go actually try and use this page. And I found out that I had set it up as the wrong page type in ClickFunnels, which is just such a novice mistake to make. And part of it is I just didn't run through this checklist that I actually helped create for our team that we use for all of our projects, but I kind of skipped it. I was in a rush. I was like, this is fine. It'll be fine. But so always good to run through this checklist before you launch, so you don't waste money sending people to a page that's broken. So this is a very relevant thing for me right now. So I just wanted to share that with you, since it's hopefully it helps someone else. So I'm actually going to go into my ClickFunnels account real quick, and we'll kind of show you how I have this set up and what I'm talking about for these different items. So here we go. All right. So this is a funnel for one of our products that we're selling, and so let's just go to this first item here. So let's see. So content proofreading, obviously you guys noted that. Just spell check. There are websites you can go to as well, where you can just drop the URL of your web page, and they will tell you if there's any typos. So it's a great little test. Test all the buttons. This, just opening up your page in mobile and desktop, and not just in, when you're in ClickFunnels, you can hit the little mobile thing up here. This is not what it looks like on your phone. Okay. Don't go by this. This is pretty inaccurate, I think, for the most part. So bring it up on a physical phone, take time to pull it up, play with it. You may have a lot of different buttons like this. So click on every single button on the page. So let me go ahead and preview this here. And, and I think this will work even on, so if I kind of shrink it down, again, this is just taking my browser to make it easy to get to, but I can kind of click on these different things. I want to make sure that every time I click on this button, something pops up, and I go down all my call to action buttons. So just literally clicking on each one, apply for this event, because there may be one that you just forgot to connect to, or you have you changed the link or something. So that's like a great little test, just hitting each one of these and then actually doing it on your phone. Now, what I would actually do is now that you've checked that the pop-up is showing up, I would pick one of these and actually fill out, test. This is a great little testing tool. If you go, let's say you have like a Gmail. So like my email is brucefeasy@gmail.com. And you've probably used every single email you've ever owned. At this point, you've tested them all. What you can do is just hit the plus, and then you can type anything you want to after that. ClickFunnels will see it as a brand new email, but it will actually go to your email account. So this is a great little testing hack here. And if you are hosting your email on Google Suite, like for your business, which you should, like we have it set up like this, I can just hit the plus, and then anything I want to type after that, it'll still go to bruce@ennovo.io, so I can check that it arrived, but ClickFunnels will see it as a brand new email first instead of someone that's already been in there. So there's that, put in this, and I hit submit. And this is, so we actually want to make sure it goes to the thank you page. So perfect. So it looks like it's working. So just kind of running through, clicking on all those buttons. Again, try it on your phone. Sometimes like weird things happen with ClickFunnels. Things get cached, things get broken for no reason. Like there's a lot of things. You always want to check it, especially if you're going to run ads to it. This is a first impression for your customers. So just kind of taking that extra second and, just testing it. So let's go back to our funnel here. So that's testing all the buttons, making sure the contact actually gets captured. So now I can go back, go to contacts, and see there's my Bruce, blah, 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 1 minute ago. Perfect. That's working. Checking the payment. Obviously, you can test that with the ClickFunnels. Going to your settings here, you can actually put this into test mode, and you can basically test the checkout. If you are taking payment, definitely check that. And then we actually have another item down here that says like make sure the test mode is disabled for payments later, because that sometimes we have definitely had that go live. On a pretty, this is months ago, we had someone push something live in test mode, and we were running, I think, $500 or $1,000 a day of ads to this page. And for the first half of the day, it had a test payment sign up. So these are all things that this happens even when you're building these funnels for clients. Sometimes these things can happen because you got to check every little detail, and so many things change, especially at the last minute. Someone decides to go test something quick, especially if you got a team and they're all kind of working on different parts of it. So this checklist is kind of and once it goes through this checklist, no one's allowed to touch the funnel again. Let's see here. So next thing, DNS for the domain name, just making sure that's set up. Obviously at this point you have your domain probably set up like this. So I have our domain hooked up there. And you can go and edit this in your ClickFunnels account, into your domains here, and set this up. Just make sure the DNS is pointed correctly. There's ways to check that. A couple things on that. Let's just go into this real quick, because I feel like this comes up all the time. ClickFunnels makes simple things complicated sometimes. I don't know why there's so many steps, but when you create the new domain, you set it up here, it works great. You have to come in here and actually like verify it. So you hit the verify button. Then when you're done, you have to hit this expand button and then hit like add SSL. Why they think you shouldn't just by default have SSL, I don't understand, because everything's encrypted and secure at this point. But they make an extra button, and that's something that people sometimes get stuck on. You have to come in here, hit that SSL button, and then it takes maybe a few minutes for it to actually update. So that's also one of our things here, just making sure that the SSLs can be connected. And then WW and non-WW. So sometimes people buy a domain so let's say like myawesomefunnel.com. I always recommend going to using the WW option. It's just, I know it's kind of old school, but definitely use it. I'm going to show you a little trick in GoDaddy. If you're using GoDaddy, there's a little hack here that works great with ClickFunnels. Let me jump into my account real quick. So let's see here. Let me get a good domain for us. So, okay. So you go into GoDaddy DNS management, and then what you can do is you can set your AREC. It's going to be a CNAME that you set your www URL, and that's where it's going to go to that target.clickfunnels is where you're sending it. And then if you go down to forwarding, what you want to do is set up the domains. If someone just puts in like mydomain.com, then you want it to just be forwarded to your www.mydomain.com. So that way, and it's going to add the HTTPS there. So the domain you want to add then to ClickFunnels is the www. Okay, so that's like a little thing there that is pretty helpful, and it just makes it a little easier because someone's going to type in, with the www, someone's going to tell it without. So just redirect it so that it lands on the same place. All roads need to lead to the right page for sure. So confirm www, non-www, and the way you just check that is just by typing in that domain into your browser and just see where it shows up. Okay, confirm all SEO metadata. So we're going to go in here. And if you guys are just jumping in, I see some people jumping in and jumping out. Like, just you can download this checklist. There's a link to the form below, which will just email to you, so you have it in your inbox, and you can visit this later. So we go into the page builder, settings, SEO metadata, and this is when you share the URL in Facebook. This is what it's going to look like. So it kind of gives you a preview there. And then there's this little known Facebook. If you Google Facebook debugger, okay, this is what I use all the time. So if you want to check something, you can put your URL in here. So I'm going to say start.tribesocial.io, and you just hit debug. And what this is going to go do, it's going to go see what's actually showing up for this. Now, this is actually not the correct things. If I hit, so Facebook is difficult. It caches stuff on their side. So this is where it's like really unfair. If you don't know how to do this, this can be very frustrating because you can just go over here and you can start changing stuff. You're like, why is this picture not showing up correctly? So it should be showing this. This is what ClickFunnels says it's sending. And when I go to Facebook and I share it, this is what's going to go out. So the only way to fix this is you come in here and you can literally tell Facebook to scrape again, go look for new images. So this is not something that most people know about, but it's very helpful. So if you hit scrape again, it will force Facebook to go get the latest image for this, and it should pull it in just fine. So it's also saying that, oh, that's an SVG file. So that's also what the reason is. So it's giving me a warning there. So I actually, instead of uploading a PNG file, see this, I'm actually fixing my own funnel, even on this call. How useful is that? And I will just go to my images. I'll swap this out real quick. So it's actually telling us, we use a lot of SVGs in our pages. It makes them super fast and super sharp. Definitely recommend doing that if you can. And there's no way to see what this is because, so let's just see. I think this is the PNG. There it is, yep. Okay. That's that. So I'm going to save this. That'll take a second. I'll pull it in again, and then you can scrape it again. So if you keep these two up, you can keep just pulling it in, scraping, doing that all over again. So it's very useful. It may not be instant here because it's probably going to take a second. ClickFunnels has to save it, clear out its cache. Then you have to come here. It may take, if I come back here in like 5-10 minutes, it'll probably be corrected here. It's still sending it the old URL there, but that's that. So Facebook debugger is super helpful. Make sure this is good because people will share your link. And this is a huge opportunity right here to advertise. I actually, if I was going to, advise for a client, this is just for us, but if this is a client, we would actually design a 16:9 graphic that has some text in there that says maybe the headline here or whatever as part of that metadata, this thing, because it's a huge, it's like a billboard for your page. So definitely want to use that. Okay, moving right along. Test mode, send your client email, make sure that actually is showing up. I always recommend, if you can, for whatever funnel you're building, have an email go to a client immediately, just because it confirms that, yes, what you did worked. You know, if you are requesting and filling out an application, you're opting into a newsletter, whatever the thing is, a lead magnet, let them receive something immediately. And there's a quick way to do that. In ClickFunnels, you just go into the page that you want. So we're over here. And we go to automation. And you can just set up a really quick email to trigger here. Add an email here. And you can just send something right here. So you can tell it to come from you. Hey, we got your email thing. Sorry, it's on the thank you page. So this is the page where you fill it out. On this page, you go to everybody who lands on this page. And if we have their email, it will send you something. And then I also set up, for us, I set up like an opt-in notification. So it actually sends me an email, and I can send this anywhere I want. So it could be to the client or whatever. So if you're, if you just want to be notified that, hey, there was a new opt-in or a new sale or whatever, we do that there. So of course, if you are doing a purchase or a sale, then, you know, move this to a different category. But we just have a very quick thing that says, hey, thanks for filling out the application. And then I just link out to, like, if you're, in the meantime, like, check out our YouTube channel, our Facebook page, just so there's something that shows up in the inbox, so it feels like it worked. So that's your email, connecting Facebook pixel to header code, and then the Hotjar as well. So just going back to settings, always put your tracking code right here. It says head tracking code. And we have all kinds of stuff going on here. We have Facebook pixels there. I have my Hotjar tracking code. And then I also have my ActiveCampaign, which we have just migrated to. So new ActiveCampaign tracks the visitors. And now when you put something on this page on the main settings here, it actually says it down here, funnel wide tracking. This goes to every single page down the left sidebar. So don't add this to on a per page basis. You'll drive yourself crazy. Come in here, set that up once, and then it'll go on all pages. So bring in your Facebook tracking code. If you're running, even if you aren't running Facebook ads, like, put your Facebook pixel in there, because then you can come back a month or two from now and retarget those people if you decide to change your mind. So definitely worth doing that. And then, so that's your tracking. And the last thing I'll say on the ClickFunnels, this is kind of a step we probably should add, but we just like to have very clean URLs. So I'm not going to get into a whole thing of how URLs work with ClickFunnels, because it's not very logical and it's complex to understand. All you really have to know is go to the page, go to the variation that you want, like this page right here, and just hit the gear. Whatever is on this path right here is what people are going to land up on, okay? That's all you got to edit. Now, those have to be unique. So if you type something in and you hit update and you come back and it's like changed to like a bunch of numbers and stuff, it means that there was another page with that path. And so in order to make it unique, it added a bunch of extra numbers and letters and stuff. So that's all that means right there. But there's a lot of different, like, complex things of how ClickFunnels manages URLs. Basically, it's going to go from your main funnel URL to your step URL, then it forwards from this down to this. So if you just give it this URL, and this is what we put in for the ads, it'll just go straight to this page. It's the simplest way to kind of just ignore these other URLs. So that's just setting up clean URLs. Just feels a little bit less spammy. And the other thing, there's a lot of other things, but as I'm going through it, I'm just looking at, like, how we fix. So set a favicon here. So we have a little a logo here that we put, so you can see at the top here, we've got the little, like, branded icon there. Just drop that in, because the other pages are going to look like this. If everybody's pages all have a little ClickFunnels logo, and it just makes you look very novice, so swap that out, and it'll just look much more professional. So that's the favicon. Just proofreading the email, confirm email receipt. Those are all just making things work. Like if you're doing a group or a challenge, just making sure that the links actually go to the Facebook group. there's some different things here, like setting the group to private if you're doing a challenge, making sure the cover photo's in. These are some pretty basic stuff. Add each of your sessions for the challenge into the event section. Those are just, extra there. But hopefully this is helpful. Just a quick little list. I do pull this up. We have it kind of captured in our Notion doc, so anyone can go to that anytime. And let's just see here. I'm going to drop the link one more time in the chat in case you didn't get it. Going to grab that URL real quick. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, drop them in the comments. You can tag me. You can tag. I'll try and respond as best I can, as quickly as I can. I'll just say get the it's here. Pop that in as well, just so everybody gets it. And that's good. So hopefully that's helpful for some of you guys. I'm not going to go too much longer, and we'll stop sharing the screen there. But yeah, hopefully that's helpful. If you guys have questions about funnels, any of the stuff I just showed, drop a comment below. And that's it. That's our funnel launch checklist. We have another one for websites when we launch a website, so maybe I'll run through that in the next coming weeks. If you have any questions on this, let us know. And if you have suggestions or things you'd like an entire, free training on, let us know about that too. And I will find a way to put that in the upcoming episodes here. So we'll keep it short this week, and we will see you next Tuesday.